Hello YouTube. Today we're going to learn how to make a yellow cake mix totally out of our preps. What we're going to need is 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a cup of butter, and I'm using my canned butter that I learned how to make off Cat's Cradle. We're going to use a half a cup of that. We are going to use 1 cup of sugar. That's just regular old granulated sugar, guys. We're going to use 3 eggs, or in this case we're going to use 6 tablespoons of egg powder and 9 extra tablespoons of water. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and if all you have is the powdered extract, then you use 2 teaspoons of that. So I will use my regular extract until I'm out of it, and then I will be using my powder. And you measure exactly the same. So what I'm going to want is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Then I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of reconstituted dry milk. So not hard, and we're going to have a nice cake out of this, believe it or not. And you can put this in the solar oven if you want. I'm going to put it in the oven because I have to have it done quickly. The nice thing with the butter is it's already at room temperature. I'm telling you, I love the smell of this butter. I love everything about it. And I'm going to measure out a half a cup, just so you see that I'm really using storage. I like this stuff, I'm telling you. Now I put these in half pints, and that's probably the best idea around, because I'm always thinking the worst case scenario, and if it's a bad situation, you probably don't want, you know, butter sitting around that's not refrigerated. So there's not much more than half a cup in there. There might be another 1/4 cup. So as you see, this is really storage butter here. We're going to put all this together. And what I do, because I just don't get all fancy, is I go ahead and I put in my 2 cups of flour. I put in my half a cup of butter. Yeah, I know everybody says, oh, aren't you supposed to? Yes, you are, but you know what? Who's got time? Are you going to have time to get all fancy when times are rough? Are you really going to get time to, oh, I will blend this and I will blend that together? No, you won't. My idea is throw it all together and mix it. It will work. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of the eggs, the powdered eggs, and 9 tablespoons of the water. And then I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of my extract, which is the same thing as almost a tablespoon, because I'm using a tablespoon measure. I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. And I need a half a teaspoon of salt. Once again, I'm going to have a lot to do in a bad situation. I have a lot to cook. I don't have time to play, you know, I'm a gourmet chef. You know, some people are. I'm just not. You guys know that. And I'm going to put in 3/4 of a cup of reconstituted milk. I believe I have everything in there. And then I'm going to wire whisk it. Now, this will probably taste extremely excellent to anybody that's been outside working all day in the gardens and have not had some sweets in a long, long time. Now, I'm going to show you how that's looking. As you see, it came out beautiful. Alright, now what I'm going to do is take an 8x8 pan, and I'm going to use some of that butter. I'm going to grease my pan. This is what I would do. I would do this in a bad situation. Alright? What I want is a nice high cake. I guess you could put this into the round pans if you want to. I would probably make double this batter if you did that, unless you just want the, you know, thinner cakes. But I like a nice high cake, and this will come out real pretty, you'll see. And then I go ahead and I put all my mix in there. I'm just gonna let it all go in. If you bought it in the store, right now it's still relatively cheap to buy cake mixes, but you know, in the 70s, I remember everything was expensive, and I expect it all to get pretty expensive real soon. So you see how nice that is. If you wanted to make a nice square cake like a wedding cake, you make 2 of these and then just put them on top of each other. Or you make round cake pans. I would say to go ahead and double this if you want a 9 by 13 and you want it to turn out nice. We're going to put that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. The best way to tell if a cake is done is you take a toothpick, you go right down the center, you put it all the way down, and you pull it out. It's totally done. There's no mixture or batter on here at all. I push down on it rather firmly, and it stays in place. Also thumping on it, it's a good cake. That is a beautiful cake. In an SHTF situation, you're going to be glad you have it. I would just dust this lightly with powdered sugar in a bad situation, or I would make a paste to say powdered sugar and a little bit of water. You know, spread that on just a little bit, and maybe put some sprinkles on it if you're doing it for a kid's birthday. That would really be appreciated in bad times. You know, I always talk about bad times. I'm talking about extremely bad times. Of course, we know what's coming. But I have done this in the past. When I was raising all my children, that's what we did. And nobody ever felt like they were without. Everybody always loved the cakes I made them. I tried to do funny things with it, but, you know, for kids. But this is a wonderful cake mix. This is similar to your yellow butter cake mix that you find, except I'm telling you right now, when it's homemade and people know that you took the time to make it, it's just delicious for them. They all love you for it. Very simple icing. Put, I'd say put about 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. That looks good. And with the milk, I'm just using reconstituted milk. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in. Powdered sugar is absolutely amazing. Watch. It doesn't need much fluid at all. You can probably do this with water if you're in a pinch. A little bit runny. Because in a bad situation, we're just not going to be able to do what we do today. So we'll take this and we'll drizzle it all over the cake. And then if you had remembered to prep some little toppings, I buy these whenever they're on sale. I just pick them up. What the heck, I'm always making cake for somebody. And then I'll show you what I would do. My cake is cool. I would just take it and do like this. Sure you can see that. Just so something, you know, to have a little sweeter flavor. Just pour it on. Don't be shy. And then I just take a handful of these and I just sprinkle them on. I probably got these around fall, I'm sure. Now there you go. And look at that. What kid wouldn't like that cake? This is so good. Oh, this beats any cake mix out there. This is so good. You know, girls, if you ever think about it and you don't have time to make bread, you can always make a cake like this so you have a little something on the side, even if you don't have the powdered sugar to make the frosting. This is wonderful. This is just wonderful.